So, I'm not recording this again because it turned out that the microphone wasn't working via some weird thing that somehow, when I had to restart the thing, it lost all connection to the microphone. Honest, but the PC conference. Take two. So it led off with Intel. And the one thing, as much as it's nice for Intel to be sponsoring the event now instead of AMD, why do your own press conference where nearly everything that you say in that conference is repeated again later on in the show? So they first talk about the i7s and whatever. The i7s, I believe, launch next week. I think it's 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18 core processors that they've got will be launching or being available to pre-order, certainly, from every couple of weeks between August and October, from what I remember it said. They then talked about esports, how they're doing a new global partnership with ESL, and they're introducing the the Intel Grand Slam series. So there's 10 events at least, or 10 events that they're recognizing as sort of somewhat high-profile events, which I think are the ESL 1 events, which is certainly the Cologne one. That's the only one that I'm sure would be considered a major. As well as the Intel Extreme Masters events and DreamHacks that they have. Out of those 10 events, the first team that manages to win 4 of them gets a bonus $1 million. My question is, what if somebody wins the first 4? What happens then? Does it happen? Does it not? Who knows? Then they talked about VR esports, because that needs to be a thing. Lone Echo, which looks like a pretty nice VR game, is being adapted into sort of Tron? 3D Tron meets Ender's Game? Free for all the Oculus Rift people, thanks to Intel, because they've basically paid for it to be free to everybody. That's coming out July 20th, both the free esports thing and also Lone Echo, which I don't think is free, which makes sense. They're also pushing the VR Challenger League from July. And the idea is by the end of the year, or no, I think they said the Intel Extreme Masters and Katowice in Poland will be the finals. But yeah, VR esports. How the hell do you present that? I mean, I get it. You can present CSGO. You can present Battlefield or Overwatch or whatever, or Call of Duty. How do you present VR? I don't get it. Speaking of VR as well, Linkin Park are doing a special exclusive Intel experience thing for their fans with behind-the-scenes stuff and exclusive stuff that's launching July 27th. Apparently they need a press conference for all that. So then for the PC stuff itself, they've got the Darkest Dungeon guy doing the narrations, so that's awesome. They first start off with the XCOM 2 expansion, War of the Chosen, coming August 29th, which is apparently their largest expansion ever. The Chosen are sort of special Advent people. They're sort of like super soldiers for the Advent alien group. One of which is an assassin, one is a hunter, and one is a warlock. Although on top of those 3 sort of super guys, you've also got 3 resistance factions, which at first are working against XCOM as well as the Advent aliens. But the idea is over time you've got to sway these resistant factions over to your side to increase your troops and obviously get the one-up on Advent. Both of these 3 resistance groups, though, have super soldiers themselves, one comprising of Reapers, one of Saboteurs, and one of Templars, so Assassin's Creed. Well, not. And then also you've got the Lost involved in some of these maps. Which are basically sort of like zombie mindless horde sort of groups when they show up. So there is the possibility on certain maps where you can have the Lost and the Chosen and XCOM all battling, and Advent. Well, you know, Advent / Chosen and XCOM. That's a bit crazy. Next, they talk about Ooblets, which is being published by Double Fine, but being developed by only 2 people, which for what it is, somewhat of a Harvest Moon Pokemon, Stardew Valley style looking thing. Also Animal Crossing as well. That looks really nice. That's coming 2018. Battletech had a single player showcase. Big mechs destroying stuff. That's always fun. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. The battles look very good. I've not been hugely into those games yet, but they certainly looked impressive enough to go, yeah, that looks pretty good. Then there was Total War Warhammer 2, which is coming September 28th. I think that might be a bit too soon, considering the first one only came out last year. But, you know, we'll see. There's 4 new factions coming as part of this, which are the High Elves, the Dark Elves, the Lizard Men, and a mystery one that they're revealing at a later date. There's also a pre-order early adopter bonus. I don't know what it is, because you shouldn't pre-order video games. Shadowverse, which is a CCG, is getting an expansion called Wonderland Dreams. It looked like a thing. It really didn't look that good. It just looked like a Hearthstone ripoff, which is probably not the best thing to do. Then Intel came out, said quite a lot of the same stuff that they also did, but in terms of the bits that they didn't, they had Destiny 2 talked about, and some guy that's a pro Destiny 2 streamer was saying, yeah, it's good on PC. So his word's good enough. Everybody get it. No date was given, but I think they did in a later interview with Jeff Keighley. It's coming like mid-October, so about a month after the release on consoles. Also, there will be core optimization, so no matter how many cores you've got, even the 18 core stuff, you'll be getting everything running sort of swimmingly. You won't have some cores drowning in the game and then the other cores not. So, Secret Legend got a name update to Tunic from the same publishers that gave us Night in the Woods. Certainly had a very nice art style. Looking forward to that when it comes. More updates on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. New additions being made. The server updates going on. There's new maps in the works. So it won't just be that same map on the island. New guns, new weather, new climbing animations and parkour style things. They look very nice. Then Tripwire came out to talk about Rising Sun 2, which has obviously just came out recently, as well as the coming soon Killing Floor virtual reality stuff, the VR stuff. But they then debuted the Summer Sideshow, which is basically Killing Floor 2 at a fun fair, starting right from now for a whole month. And I believe on Steam it's free access all week. And then I think at the minute it's 50% off as well for the week to encourage people to pick up and play. Forza 7 was next. They said that it will be working for all streamer wheels. But apparently they even said it works with a Guitar Hero controller. Little crazy, but seems nice as an option. Also, rather pleasingly, they've lowered the bottom end specs, so people with less powerful, I believe they said i5 processors, will be able to run the game smoothly and effectively. Obviously not sort of full-on 4K sort of style that a high-powered rig can do, but enough that you won't be seeing too much issues with performance from what I can tell, which is good. Sea of Thieves. They're building both games in parallel. That's the one thing that's worth noting. So they're working on the Xbox One and working on the PC one at the same time, so that both can come out at the same time, which is why it's coming out at some point early next year. Then The Last Night was shown off. Again, looked very good, and the dev, described it really well. I will give plaudits to him as well, though, for basically acknowledging the stuff that came up over the past 24 hours trying to deride the game, because a few years back he made some very pro-Gamergate, anti-feminism comments that he said, that was me in the past. I'm not the same person I am, and I just wanted to say that. So, it's good that he acknowledged it and got it out the way as soon as possible, certainly. Bohemia Interactive showcased their new game called Islands, which is YLANDS for some reason. It's a sandbox game with an alpha that's currently available. The interesting thing is, it's not like voxel-based sort of stuff, but it is certainly sandbox, and you can create your own world like Minecraft is. Look nice, but nothing spectacular. Except then we do get to spectacular stuff. Griftland from Clay, the guys that brought us Don't Starve and Oxygen Not Included. It's a sci-fi RPG, if I can say it properly. Looked very nice, the art style. I did like the look of it. They talked about Lone Echo, and the update from that, really, apart from everything else that we'd already been told about, is Troy Baker's in the game. So, he's there. We'll get to him in a minute. Then we had Cliffy B to come out and talk about Lawbreakers. The closed beta is June 28th. The open beta for everyone is June 30th. And then release on PS4 and PC is going to be August the 8th. And they've said, because they're not fucking around, and that's a quote from Cliffy B, not me, they're only charging $30 for it rather than $60. So in that sense, I will say pleasantly surprising. Good to see. And then Wargroove from Chucklefish Games, the guys that brought us Starbound and Stardew Valley, have brought us something that doesn't have the word star in it, but oh my god, it is Fire Emblem, it is Advance Wars, it's on a PC, the art style is great, the battle systems look great, just like both those games. Oh man, I am interested in this. They even showed sort of the creator map deal, which was so good that you can create a map in sort of around 3 minutes. That's good. That's good. Middle-earth Shadow of War then had a showcase. They showed a cinematic with Troy Baker. It was the lead guy. And Laura Bailey as the assassin of Galadriel, I think it was, or something. I think that was the name of it. Or the Blade of Galadriel. Which, it's Laura Bailey. It's Troy Baker. It's them from Uncharted. And other games. Actually, no. It's Batman and Catwoman from the bloody Telltale Batman games. Whee! And then finally, Microsoft showcased off an RTS. So everyone was going, well, they've already announced Halo Wars. And it's like, wait, this is medieval. This better not be Age of Empires. Oh, it actually is. Age of Empires Definitive Edition. It's a remastering of the original game. They've remodernized the UI to make it sort of better, because apparently the UI for the original release was sort of terrible. They've also done an orchestral score of all the musical pieces rather than MIDI files on a computer or whatever. The beta is available now, and it'll be out before the end of the year, they seem to indicate. However, they also said that today, at least when the conference happened, marks the 20-year celebration event that will be happening for the rest of the year for the franchise, and more stuff will be talked about at Gamescom, which I'm guessing will be Microsoft's thing. So the tease there is, are we getting an Age of Empires 3? Are we getting a full-on new Age of Empires? after, what, nearly 15 years since Age of Empires 2? Okay, there's been expansions since then, but the original Age of Empires 2 was, I think, 2001 or 2002, so, pretty much 15 years. So yeah, overall, a much better PC conference compared to previous years. Really good. The Intel stuff, I don't know why they needed their own conference, because they could have just covered it to some extent, because they did anyway. They spent so much time on it, including the esports and the VR esports stuff. And even the one that's being given away for free, they mentioned it separately from the Intel stuff in the section that they got, where I talked about the Troy Baker voice thing. So, I don't know why they needed to have a separate press conference. Oh, wait, they didn't. Anyway, so that's PC. Another one down. Who's next? Oh! Ubisoft.